say we have a problem, but every night I'm making new best friends, and the only problem is we like having a good time. Forget your self-help and your programs. I'm only taking 12 steps towards the door.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the debut episode of Between Two Beards, baby.
Yeah, let's get it.
Yeah, you know.
How are we?
How are we doing today, JPJ?
We are good, my friend. I'm excited for this. I think obviously we're going to talk about wrestling because here at Love Wrestling, we love wrestling. That's exactly what we do. But I'm excited about this show. I'm excited to kind of little off the cuff, talk about some things that maybe aren't wrestling all the time and get, the viewers and the people that are watching us involved in the chat and involve them with the topics and things like that. Kind of like a free form, just where we kind of just come hang and talk about this thing that we love, man? So
let's get them introductions out of the way. I'm John, aka the real Johnny Drip Drip. I told you I'd be wearing a bow tie today. We got JPJ. So before we get formally started and explain to you how this all became to be and what we decided to do, I went all out, JPJ. First episode, I went all out.
Did you know?
I blew our pyrotechnics budget.
Uh-oh. I hope Spencer's not here.
Spencer, if you're listening, I'm sorry. But we got fireworks. I promised the people fireworks. I'm blowing the budget. Pyro, a kick-ass entrance song. Welcome to the first episode of Between Two Beards, where you never know what can happen. Anyway, now that that's out of the way, and we might not make it past the introductions if Spencer saw that. We had fireworks on a Love Wrestling episode. First time ever.
Here we go. Wow, I hope you don't think that those fireworks are going to be expensed.
Blew the budget, baby. We got no more budget for the rest of the year on all them fireworks.
Oh, tremendous. And then, our friend Ed. Love Ed. Yay,
Ed,
two bearded bros. And then our buddy Makuminati making fun of me with my beautiful emotes that we have. But continue, John. Talk to the people.
Anyway, to the people. All right. So, where to begin? Between Two Beards. Basically, my man JPJ, he hit me up. He said, we got to do something, right? Let's do something. So let's make it happen. And I said, you know what? You got a beard. I got a beard. Let's talk wrestling between two beards. Now, we don't have a plan in place. We're going to we got an idea. We're going to talk about some stuff. We're going to have guests. We're going to have little segments. We're going to do things. We're going to set off fireworks at Spencer's expense. We're going to write that.
Yeah, not every week, Spencer, I promise.
It's a debut episode. So, that's where we're at. So we decided, first episode, I know it's cliche, but let's get to know each other. Let's talk it out. Let the fans come in anytime you want. Drop a comment, drop a like, catch us on Twitch, Instagram. I always say Instagram. I don't know if we're on Instagram, but Facebook, Twitter, all that. Come into the conversation. But basically, we wanted to just start it off. We had some big news today. We might as well knock that out now.
Yes.
Zelina Vega might be coming back to WWE. What do you think about that, JPJ?
I think if it is true, I think it's a good thing. She was one of the ones that shocked me, not from this most recent round, but when she was let go, Tia Trinidad, I was like, that to me is a home run person on your roster. She can wrestle when needed. She's a good wrestler. She can wrestle when needed. She can talk. She was a great manager. Mm-hmm. Her and Andrade, when they were at their height, were as good an act in my mind as WWE, the main roster, had. They just were not utilized correctly. She left and everyone said it was, because of the new rules with them streaming and things like that. And she stood her ground and that's why she left. But Alice, she's married to Aleister Black. He's still there. He's obviously been having vignettes lately, so he's coming back soon. I mean, it makes sense. I'm happy she's back if she's back, but there's no bad with her coming back. That's awesome in my mind,
Hell yeah. No, I agree, man. I just hope that they don't just throw her back with Angel Garza. I really hope they do something different with her. Drop us a comment, ask us what you think, or tell us what you think. Don't ask us what you think, I guess. Tell us what you think in the comments about Selena Vega possibly coming back. So
we got a couple more comments. We have our buddy Ryan Culp said Johnny Drip Drip is number 1. And then Mighty Joe, who joined us last night for our AEW review, said, cheers, boys. Well,
cheers.
I have water, but cheers to you too, Joe.
Cheers to you, Joe. And Turnbuckle Rewind's dropping. Already dropped this week, or it's coming?
Yeah, I believe Monday.
So go check that out. Go check that out. Those boys are doing good stuff.
Oh, yeah. Joe did send me that Yuji Nagata match that we talked about on the review last night, and I watched it, and it was as good as he said it was. So, but
anyway, we digress. So we thought, we don't know, you guys probably don't know us that well. New show, kind of get to know where our heads are at. So we decided, first thing off the bat, let's talk about, I know it's cliche and everybody does it, but our top 5 favorite wrestlers of all time, just so you can get a feel of who we are as wrestling personalities, so to speak. So JPJ, why don't you start us off with your number? You want to go 5 to 1?
We can go 5 to 1.
All right, start us off with
my 5. People, people are going to judge.
That's
all right. We got Spencer already. If Brett's not mentioned, I riot. Well, that's what we.
That's what we want.
Let's find out.
Right.
Yeah. My number 5, and there's reason behind it, but my number 5 is CM Punk. Now, I know I know how some people think of CM Punk, but he was great in the ring. He was a great talker. And there was a time in my life where I kind of got away from wrestling a little bit. Just life happened and I wasn't watching for, a year or two. And the thing that kind of brought me back was I heard about the pipe bomb. And I heard, oh man, it was a really good promo. Like, you should check that out. I always paid attention and read up on things, but I wasn't watching religiously or weekly or, anything like that. And I watched the promo and I was like, oh damn. Okay. All right. That was good. And then I started to slowly get back. And that was kind of the thing that got me back into watching wrestling. So I value him as one of the guys that was when I first got back, I was like, yeah, I really like this guy. And that's why he's on my list at number 5.
Spoiler alert, he's on my list, but he's not number 5. Not number 5.
Hey, I can't blame you.
I had to think about it for a hot minute for my number 5. And honestly, my number 5, and there's still a lot to come from this particular lady. It's Becky Lynch, man.
Yep.
For similar reasons that you said, about CM Punk, Becky Lynch just caught my attention even before the man stuff. And then she was on that trajectory, and then she is just money. Mm-hmm. Absolute money. And I think when she comes back, if she comes back, she's going to come back guns blazing and really put some eyes back on that women's division that they need on Monday nights. And who's your guys' number, your top 5s, drop them in the comments, Spencer. Drop your top 5 in the comments so you can get Bret Hart mentioned on air.
Oh yeah, of course. You have to think that they're saving that return for when they have a crowd, right? They have to be. You have to, right? Because she was teasing over WrestleMania weekend and doing stuff like that when they had a smaller crowd, but they got to be saving that for when they're back to full. And it's like you said, SummerSlam or right around there, something like that. Just that crazy pop. All right. So now is it me for number 4?
Sure. Number 4.
All right. So my number 4 is not. So my top 5 in wrestling, 4 of them are considered full-time wrestlers. One of them, in my top 5 favorite, people and characters of all time wrestling. And my number 4 is Bobby the Brain Heenan. Now I know he is not a full-time wrestler. So, that is what it is. But he, to me, was so pivotal to the early part of my wrestling fandom as a manager, as a commentator. And he had matches from here or there where we would, get his butt kicked when you were waiting for him too for a while and stuff like that, I think he deserves to be on my list. So I have him on my list.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing at all. So my number 4 is I think it's everybody's Mount Rushmore, Stone Cold Steve Austin. You can't not have him on a list of top 5 people. Because for me, growing up, Attitude Era, and that's what you'll see. I know a lot of the Attitude Era stuff. That's my little niche from when I started to now. So Stone Cold, who didn't want to be Stone Cold? Who didn't want to give their boss a Stone Cold stunner? I don't want to do that currently now, Spencer. You don't have to worry.
Speaking of Spencer, I think he's going to be happy. Hopefully he's going to be happy because number 3 on my list is one Bret the Hitman Hart. He was probably one of my first favorites when I first started watching wrestling. He was the champion then, the pink and black attack, the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be. I almost feel like, I almost feel like he always gets mentioned, but I almost feel like he's become underrated to an extent. Like, I don't know. I feel like whenever you talk about the best wrestlers of all time, he's not always mentioned in every conversation. And I feel like he's good enough that he should always be mentioned in every conversation, if that makes sense.
Oh, yeah, I don't disagree.
Yeah.
If I was going to expand it out to Bret Hart, for me, I don't disagree with anybody. But again, when I grew up and started really following wrestling, unfortunately, my first taste of Bret Hart was WCW Bret Hart, really starting to understand it. Like, I've seen him, but so for me, that wasn't a great run for him. So, but I've learned as I've gotten older to appreciate the excellence that was Bret Hart.
Mm-hmm.
So easy enough. My numbers, I think we're on to 3.
Oh,
2,
yeah.
4, 3,
3.
6, 9. I don't know. As again, thank you. This is just our way of like getting to know us, guys. Again, drop your favorite wrestlers in the comments so we can get to know you. We want to be very interactive with this and just open up discussion. If you got anything you want to say, drop that in the comments. Let us know. My number 3 is Mankind, or Mick Foley, Cactus Jack, all that. If you want to, again, very young age, he just was different. I'm drawn to different when it comes to like pro wrestlers, and I remember growing up and I bought his book and he gets thrown off that cell and he just keeps coming back for more. And it drew me in. So, and again, he played Dude Love really well. Cactus Jack, he was a very versatile. Comedic timing was off the charts. Mankind, for me, he's on my Mount Rushmore for sure.
Yeah. I was at the Raw that he won the world title. It was in Worcester, Massachusetts. And that when Stone Cold comes out, that is the loudest I've ever heard of or been at a wrestling show ever. It was unbelievable how loud that pop was. I was part of it going crazy, but it was deafening. The building, it's an old building that I was in. It's still up, but that was literally shaking.
First sidebar to that, when you hear the glass shatter in Stone Cold, that immediately gets you just hyped. Kind of like our entrance music for this particular show.
Oh yeah.
Get you hyped. They've tried to replicate that in the past, right? They've done like the Ricochet thing with that beginning and the Drew McIntyre sword thing.
Yeah.
But it's never really hit. That was like the one time that like first little, can you name another entrance music that had that first little or just random noise and then the song played?
Random noise.
Yeah.
Random noise. No, I can make an argument for Bret Hart. They had the guitar, that like real high pitched, Natalia has it now, that like guitar, and then it goes into it maybe. But no, when that glass shattered, that was just that was a different sound. You know what I mean? And it was just like, man, like
you just knew.
Yeah. Yeah. We actually have some comments where Spencer said, that's actually nuts. And he said, like, that pop was earth shattering on video. Couldn't even imagine. And then, our buddy Ed said, I chose not to go to that show, Joe. Oh, Ed, I don't know. Do you regret it? I don't know. Worcester is like an hour and a half away from where I am or where I grew up. So it was a little bit of a hike, but it was actually a tape show too. So like, I think it was around the holiday time, New Year's, around that holiday time. And they taped it on a random like Tuesday or Thursday night for the following Monday. So that's why WCW knew. So Shivani gave that jab about that'll put butts in the seats and stuff like that because it was a tape show. So which changed everything. Literally changed everything.
Mick Foley still to this day, I think, on interviews, thanks Eric Bischoff for doing that.
Yeah,
everybody tuned in to see it. So
Crazy.
Boom. I think we're up to 2. We're moving through.
And we were just talking about the glass shattering. My number 2 is Stone Cold Steve Austin. I mean, what more can we say? Like, I started watching wrestling when I was smaller, so that's why I was like early 90s, but like when I was old enough to like really sink my teeth into it and like go to the video stores back when those were a thing and rent tapes and like that, like it was the Attitude Era. And it was right around that time, and Stone Cold was the dude. Like, he was awesome. Everyone loved him. He was just the coolest guy ever. And it was just like, all right, yeah. And he was my favorite. And I went to WrestleMania 14 in Boston too, where he won the title. And like, I was there with my dad, and yeah, it was just, he's the man. He's a friggin' man.
Right on. And my number 2 is Chris Jericho, Y2J. I know some people got some things to say about him now after some blood and guts falling on a pillow top mattress or something. But the dude's longevity, he reinvents himself every so often. He stays up on the times. He's been doing it for 30 years. There's not much you could say, dude. He's one of the GOATs, in my opinion. I'm not going to dive too deep into it because I think everybody that's listening is a fan and knows really well.
I think we're going to dive a little deeper than you think, because Spencer just had a good question, and he says, okay, but what era of Jericho is the best era of Jericho?
All of them?
I'll leave that up. And if anybody in the chat, if you want to give your, like, this is something we can talk about for a little bit. So
we can dive into this.
Yeah, because there are multiple eras.
And we're showing our age in this podcast, right? So when I was growing up, I was a WCW guy.
Okay.
Because it was on an hour earlier and it stayed on an hour later. So I was like, 3 hours over 2, right? Like, this is awesome. Now we're begging for 2 hours of Raw. But so I got to see the beginning of Jericho, and that stuff that he was doing with Goldberg was money.
Oh, yeah.
But honestly, for me, like the stuff he did when he first debuted in the WWE was, I think, probably the greatest debut of all time.
It's up there. I mean, there's yeah.
And then the stuff he was doing around the time with CM Punk was really well done. This current, I don't want to say the early Le Champion stuff was really good. I mean, there's so many good eras of Jericho.
The list, I think the list of, I think, man, and Mighty Joe said, well, the thing that bothers me, and they've been very public about it. He has, at least, and Owens has said a little bit about it, but like, that should have been for the world title. That should have been for the world title at WrestleMania, but they threw Goldberg in there to kind of, and it just, that turn and that thing when Owens was the champ and stuff like that, like, that should have been for the championship, the main championship, or one of them at WrestleMania, and they kind of did them dirty a little bit there. But the list of Jericho, I think, it's so good. I mean, it's near the top for me. Like, it was just, he was so entertaining, and obviously he was still having good matches back then, and he still has good matches now. But you can see, it's catching up to him a little bit, but back then he was still having quality matches, and that character, him and Owens, were just so good together.
And suit Jericho when he was doing
tremendous.
That was money too.
Yeah. Mighty Joe says Jericho just might be the best at staying relevant more than anyone in professional wrestling history. I cannot disagree. Yeah. He's been doing it for a long time, and he's been really good at the top of wherever he's been for a long time. All right. And then Ed says, big word, suit era Jericho is my favorite, but the end of WCW, beginning of WWE is the most memorable one for me. So, I mean, there's no debate that he's one of the all-time greats. So you having him at number 2 is, I mean, it's not a shock, right? He's definitely.
No, not at all.
All right.
And your number 1 wrestler of all time is?
Macho Man Randy Savage.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, my first favorite when I first started watching. He was the good guy with all the cool colors and the hats and the sunglasses. So I loved him when I was little when I first started watching, just because of what I saw. He was just like a crazy, cool looking guy. And then as I started diving deeper into wrestling and like watching his old matches and things like that, like he was also one of the best to do it in the ring. And yeah, he's my number one. He's my top guy.
There you go. Mine is CM Punk. That's mine.
All right.
Love it or hate it. For the same reasons that you said, JPJ, he got me back into wrestling. I was out for a little bit, just it was weird. And then here's this guy. And it was around this era that I had my first child. And when you're a new dad, you got to stay home, right? What are you going to do on Monday nights, So it's like, let me, get back into this wrestling thing. And here he is, always bucking authority, going against the system, dropping pipe bombs. We like to light fireworks. He likes to light pipe bombs. It works, man. It's money. So we're not going to dive too deep into it, but CM Punk for me, hands down, my guy.
I cannot disagree. He was on my list too. So I'm a
heck yeah,
huge fan of CM Punk.
So that was just, let's get that out of the way. Episode 1, that way you kind of know who we like, where we're at. I mean, obviously we could probably go on forever and expand that list past 5, but we only have about an hour. So and there's plenty of stuff to talk about today. So, drop some comments, drop a like, subscribe, hit us up on Twitch.
Yeah, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook. And, lists is something that when we were talking about ideas and trying to come up with ideas, for the show, you were like, I'm a big fan of lists. And I was like, I'm a big fan of lists too. I like drafts. I like things like that. Yeah. And it's definitely something that hopefully as the show continues and as we continue to grow, just love wrestling in general and all the fun projects that we have. And this show specifically, it's one of those things where we want our viewers and our fans to be involved. We want you guys to pick the category of the next list maybe, or get involved and throw your lists at us throughout the show and we can dive in. And fan interaction is something that we're really looking to be a big part of what we're doing here. So it's definitely...
This is two guys... Like I cut that promo earlier today, if anybody saw it. I was out mowing my lawn. We're just two guys that love wrestling, and we know we have a bunch of fans in the love wrestling community, and hopefully more people will join that community based on all that love that you guys have given us over this time. And we're just gonna have fun, shoot the shit, talk about what we love to talk about. If it gets off topic, you know what? That's fine. We don't have to. We're very loose. We're easy going. So, like I said, drop in the comments. So in the spirit of looseness and fun, JPJ, what do you want to talk about next?
Well, we have a couple things. Backlash. It is technically WrestleMania Backlash, but I'm gonna call it Backlash. So Backlash is this Sunday. It's shaping up to look pretty. We can always argue about the build, and we'll dive into it because I think we are going to have like a preview / make our picks on that. That I think is something that is relevant that we should probably dive into and maybe have a little bit of a preview here for that.
Yeah, let's do it, man. It's the longest WrestleMania season in history, man.
Yeah, I don't understand. Everyone's always known that Backlash is kind of the WrestleMania rematch pay-per-view. You know what I mean? Like it's been that way for a while, like ever. So I don't know why you had to all of a sudden this year just throw the WrestleMania name on it to like emphasize it more. Like, bro, we already know. So it's like,
were we supposed to throw the WrestleMania graphic on Between Two Beards so people would show up?
I don't know.
Oops. But first misfire on our part. We'll get that corrected. Don't worry.
We do have a comment, and we obviously will dive into this match. But Outcast Avenger says, "Do you think Charlotte was put in the title match because of the bad chemistry between Rhea and Asuka?" I think 100% that probably had something to do with it. Yeah, I mean, I love both Asuka and Rhea Ripley, and it just seemed that for whatever reason, those two matches they had were just rough. They were not ideal, and it's one of those things where I don't know if they didn't have enough time to run through it or to practice or anything like that, but it just seemed like the chemistry just was not there at all. And it's hard to imagine that with two wrestlers of that quality of those two, but it just seemed like something was missing. So
yeah, I mean, it's not unusual for two talented wrestlers to just not have chemistry. I'm drawing a blank. I should have did a little bit more research on some of those, but it's happened before. So in the comments, guys, again, if you have anybody that you just knew that had bad chemistry but were two solid wrestlers on their own, let us know. I feel bad for Rhea in a way. I mean, it's just not clicking with Asuka, but they keep putting her in the match with Asuka. They need to pivot, move on. Give her,
yeah,
they're gonna keep the belt on her. Give her somebody else, and maybe because her and Charlotte had decent chemistry at their WrestleMania match in the NXT.
Oh yeah,
so
I thought that was a good match.
So maybe that's where they're hoping. Maybe they eliminate Asuka early and just big chunk of it's Rhea and Charlotte. Who knows?
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah. And I think, once you throw in a triple threat, it kind of, when you add that third layer, it creates a lot more possibilities of what you can do. So, maybe you add Charlotte in there, who's obviously one of the best. You throw her in there, and you might see some chemistry come out of Rhea and Asuka together because of that extra layer of Charlotte, So,
I mean, not everybody's going to have chemistry like you and I, JPJ. That's just fact.
It's true. Sometimes it's natural and sometimes it is what it is.
Yeah. That's what we do.
So let's finish with that. So we'll say this is the start of the official Backlash preview. So we'll start with that one since our buddy Outcast Avenger led us with that question. As far as that match in general, what are you thinking? Who do you think wins? You see Asuka. Who do you see pulling on this one out?
I'm going Rhea. I think they're still they put a lot into it, and I think it would be premature to pull the belt off of her now. Do I see a long title run for Rhea? I don't right now, but that's just because they're putting her with Asuka. And it's not clicking. It's just, and they're making her be like, kind of like, the chicken shit heel type. Oh, why did she get the match? Like,
yeah,
Rhea should just come in
and kick ass,
take
and
bring it on, all of them.
Yeah,
kind of like what they're doing with how Karrion Kross was like, yeah, Finn Balor, let's go, let's do it again. That should be Rhea Ripley. But for me, I think they'll give it to her and then work out the kinks. And I hope that this is the moving off of. But unfortunately, as we've seen in WWE triple threat matches, that means one of these. It's going to be Charlotte, Rhea, maybe at SummerSlam.
It could be.
They're going to keep this going somehow. So I'm interested to see how they get away from the Asuka, Charlotte, and Rhea thing and move on to something else.
Yeah, I agree with you. I do think Rhea will win. They just, she just got the belt at Mania. So it's one of those things where I think they're going to give her a longer rope to kind of figure out her character and kind of figure out what works for her in this new iteration. And she'll continue. Outcast Avenger does say I'm with Johnny on this. So I think he agrees with both of us that Rhea will be winning. And he also says, I think Rhea loses the title at SummerSlam to Becky.
Ooh, I'm down with that.
I'm down with that too. I would not be. As soon as Becky Lynch comes back is a good day. That's a good day to me. So,
yeah.
And then Spencer actually says, I think Charlotte beats Rhea at SummerSlam and Becky returns to challenge her. I think that could be very well done as well.
That's why we need you guys in the comments, because that stuff I wasn't even thinking about that.
Right. They throw it out there and then we're like, oh yeah, let's talk about But I think that would be perfect. Like I feel like they're gonna, they somewhat treat the Raw and SmackDown after SummerSlam similar to the way they do after Mania. Obviously not as big, but they kind of treat it that way. People have debuted and shown up and things like that. I think that Raw after SummerSlam would be a perfect opportunity for Becky Lynch to come back, like a perfect opportunity.
Or even like with Ronda Rousey a few years back, when she debuted at the end of the Rumble and just walked out there, didn't say a word, and they were like, she pointed to the sign. Granted, there won't be a sign, but she just walks out, stands at the top of the ramp, and then they just cut it right there. That makes you want to tune in tomorrow night, right? That makes you must make appointment viewing on Monday night. So I think that's a money idea.
Yep, absolutely. All right. So the second match we will dive into is probably not because of the participants, but it's probably the match I personally care about the least. It is the lumberjack match between Damian Priest and The Miz. Oh, before we dive into that, I want to say hello back to our friend Josh Robinson in the chat.
Hello,
Josh. You're great.
You are great. And yeah, go check out Josh Robinson's video he just dropped this week at Love Wrestling, man, about women's wrestling. It's money.
Oh, awesome. That was awesome. Great video.
Josh, you are one of the greats, man.
Yeah, so Damian Priest versus The Miz in a lumberjack match. And first thing I will say is, Josh says, all you guys. Well, we love you back, my friend. First thing I will say is I'm picking Damian Priest. But I'm nervous slightly that they might have The Miz win. And if they do, I'm going to lose my mind. Not because I dislike The Miz. I don't dislike The Miz. But like, you should be building Damian Priest to be he doesn't have to be it right away, but he should be going, up to wherever he should be going, right? And like, he had the Bad Bunny thing, which I was a fan of. I liked it a lot. I thought Bad Bunny was great. I thought the whole thing was good, and the match at Mania was very good. And he got a big win. And then the next night on Raw, they had Miz pin him with his pants around his ankles. And I'm like, okay, all right. So we're continuing this story. Fine. But like, did he have to get pinned? Like, something else couldn't have happened. You can't just attack him. Like, you have to make him look like an idiot. Like, this guy shouldn't be ever looking like an idiot, But yeah, okay. That's my rant on Damian Priest.
I agree with you 100%. Tune in next week when JPJ loses his mind. That's what That's what we call a cliffhanger in the business, folks. Next week, episode 2 after The Miz gets his hand raised on Sunday.
Oh my God.
I agree with you 100%, dude. If they're not putting Damian Priest over in this spot, what's the point?
Yeah.
Our
buddy Ed does say Priest versus Sheamus is going to be money soon. I would be, full on board with that. Sheamus, in my opinion, at least in the in-ring, is on the best run of his career, maybe. Since he came back right before, throughout this pandemic, it all melds together for me. But he's been unreal, and I'm a big fan of Damian Priest, as you can tell. So they would beat the crap out of each other, and that would be fun. That would be a lot of fun.
Oh yeah. Banger alert.
Right.
All right. Next? What we got next?
Oh yeah. We have the SmackDown Tag Team Championship match. We have the Dirty Dogs.
The Dirty Dogs.
Dolph Ziggler and is he back to Bob? Robert Roode still, going against the Mysterios, Dominic and Rey Mysterio. I will let you lead this one, my friend.
All I got for this one is that the first father-son tag team thing writes itself. Make it happen.
Yeah.
I mean, again, this is Love Wrestling. We try to stay as positive as possible, but they're not really doing a whole lot on the SmackDown tag team side of things. So why not just make history at Backlash? You got to do something. If we go to Backlash and no title changes, people are going to be like, well, this was silly. So give it to Rey. Give it to Dom. That's what I got. Moving on that one.
Yeah, I mean, I will agree with you. I think, like you said, the first ever tag team, like father and son combo. Like, how can you not do that? You know what I mean? So, yeah, give it to them. Have them feud with the next team you want to be champions eventually. And there's not really much to dive into.
Then have Rey and Dominic have a match at down the line.
Yeah, and that will probably be so. Yeah, that'll be so awesome for Rey. He'll be able to do that before he finally retires, which might happen sometime in the near future. And I got no problem with that. We do have a question from Ed in the chat. Says, do you guys think they will add Jay versus Jimmy at Backlash?
I guess we'll find out tomorrow. They'd have to make that. But I think there's a little bit more meat on the bone for that. I think if you're going to do that, that is a SummerSlam. That is a SummerSlam match. That easily fits on a SummerSlam card. So I think Friday, you'll see a little bit more meat. You'll get through Backlash, and then maybe you'll see some turn. Or that's where I'm at with it.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I think I wouldn't be shocked if they added it on there. I'm assuming, right now, according to WWE.com, it's a 1, 2, 3. It's a 6-match card. So they could. I'm sure there might be another match or two that they kind of just throw on there. Maybe tomorrow they announce them or whatnot. But yeah, I don't know really. But I'm all for it. It seemed to be with what happened on SmackDown that's the way they're going, like that maybe Jimmy and Jay are going to have like one match or so to kind of go through their differences, and then eventually Roman will recruit Jimmy too, I would assume.
I'm always looking for the next finger poke of doom situation. So, they're at each other's throats, and all of a sudden Jimmy's just like, boop, all right, I'm with you guys. Let's move on.
We got Spencer Love, the boss man, saying, "Hey, friends," and we have Parrish. He's like, "What's up? What's this? A POS show before a POS show? Haha! What is up, boys? What's up, Spencer? I mean, Spencer and Parrish. No, Parrish. This is no belts, no competition on the line. Just previewing and giving our picks. Whenever you let me back on the POS show, which one of the flagships of Love Wrestling." I will be coming for that title next time, and I will not be leaving without it. I will just say that now.
Listen, boy. Do we got beef already? Are we beefing with
I think we might be. Might have to have a tag team POS show at some point. But here we go.
B2B versus POS.
Yeah. Spenny and the Jet says, "Parrish, is that 2 POSs?" He goes, "Because remember, here at Love Wrestling, we can hardly give 2 shits."
For those that are unaware, that are new to the program, which you would be new to this program because it's the debut.
It's the debut.
These gentlemen that are taking shots in the comments do a wonderful prediction show for every major pay-per-view, and you should definitely check them out. But it'll be a good time. They're great.
Always is.
But they don't have these luscious beards, and that's what sets us apart here at Between Two Beards is the lusciousness of our beards.
And then I know we talked a little bit about our buddy Joe and Turnbuckle Rewind. Just said, just a reminder, Turnbuckle Rewind drops on Wednesdays now instead of Thursday going forward. I think I said Monday like an idiot. So it is on Wednesdays. It's a great program. Watch that program. Support that program.
We're just making friends left and right. We're
bumping, we're doing
Joe. We're taking up for POS.
We're doing all right.
Basically, we do what we want.
Then our friend Jamie says, "Beards for the win," and it looks like he has a mighty fine one himself.
Right.
All right. So the next match we will dive into is for the SmackDown Women's Championship. I am very excited for this one. This is, I would say, at the top of my list of matches I'm excited for, or it's like 1 or 1A. It is Bianca Belair defending the title against Bayley. I will let you lead, my friend.
Darn. I love Bayley. I know. I love Bayley.
I love Bayley. She's my favorite of the 4 horsewomen.
She's my favorite. She's my number 2. Yeah, because I love Becky Lynch just a little bit more, but it's close. It's like 1A, 1B. They're gonna put on a really good match. They're gonna make Bianca look like $1 million. Bianca's gonna keep it going. It is what it is. That's what we're doing here. Bayley can't always be on top as much as I would like her to be because I think she's that good. But that's what we're going for here on Sunday. Yep. But it's gonna be a good match. I'm here. Just because it's predictable doesn't mean it's gonna be bad.
Oh, no, absolutely not. And we have our friend Smarkmouth in the chat. He says, friends, hello. Welcome. And then Josh Robinson.
One of the best in the business.
Oh, yeah, easily one of the best in the business. And then Josh agrees with me, and he says, my favorite of the 4 as well. So him and I share an opinion that Bayley is our favorite of the horsewomen.
Anybody watching, who's your favorite 4 horsewoman? Drop it.
Yeah. I don't think you can go wrong with any of them.
No,
so it's just strictly what who's your favorite, what you like better, but they're all four are four of the best to ever do it. So, but I would agree. I think Bianca will win and will keep on being the champion. I foresee her being the champion for a little while here. She's excellent. I love her. She's awesome. But yeah, Bayley, I want Bayley to win. I'm not going to pick Bayley because I don't think she's going to win. I want Bayley to win because I want Bayley to be the champion all the time. But yeah, I would agree with you that Bianca will win this one. All right, so we're getting some answers here. So Spenny in the Jet says it's got to be the boss. Sasha is my number 2.
Boss time.
Yep. And then we have Josh give the full list. He says Bayley, Charlotte, Sasha, Becky for him. Outcast Avenger says Becky 2 belts to number 1 as well. So he agrees with you, John, there. You're on the same page.
There we go.
Yep. And then we are getting Parrish, Becky, then Bayley, then Charlotte, then Sasha.
Does it count if Parrish spelled Bayley wrong? Just kidding, Parrish. I love you.
And then we have our buddy Ed, Charlotte, Bayley, Sasha, Becky for him. And then we got Spenny and the Jets. Sasha, Becky, Bayley, Charlotte make up 1A, 1B, and 1C. That's how I would feel like that's the proper numbers. That's the proper the
absolutely. Again, you can't go wrong with those 4.
No.
So who we got next, JP?
Now we have the WWE Championship match. It will be in a triple threat between Drew McIntyre, Braun Strowman, and the champ, the almighty Bobby Lashley.
A lot of muscles in this match.
This is so 3 big dudes.
As our friend SRS would say, meaty sons of bitches or something.
Yes.
Over there, those boys that fight.
Sirloin beef,
I sons of bitches. Yes, there it is. There it is. Which is what I had for dinner, some sirloin beef. Give me, you know what? I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to say they're going to put it back on Drew.
You think so? You think so?
I'm not confident.
You think Strowman's there to take the fall?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those Strowman takes the fall. You then can continue this. They're going to drag this out. They've shown that they'll drag it out. I've always been a proponent because they released Drew McIntyre. My thing has always been that they're making up for lost time. So what sounds better than like a 1-time champion, a 2-time champion? What sounds better than 2, 3? How do you get there? You got to turn him quick, right? To get him back up, because now they're kind of making up for their mistake of letting him go, which it paid off letting him go. He came back monster. We all know that history. So yeah, I'm going to go on a limb. I'm going to say they're going to throw Drew at us just to kind of throw a curveball, and then we'll see Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre again. It's at SummerSlam. Yeah.
We have in the chat our buddies HCW 24/7 says Strowman is a giant jobber. Too bad.
Shout out HCW, one of the most up and coming independent promotions for my neck of the woods over here in South Bend. Love
nice
boys.
Yeah, plug.
Oh yeah,
keep doing it.
Love those guys.
All right. Yeah, I mean, it's really, when you think about where Strowman was, like when he was at the height of just destroying stuff and like the feud with Roman and things like that, like he was super duper over. And now when you see him, like he's basically the guy that they treat still like a main eventer, but you know he's absolutely not winning a damn thing. And it's just like, I don't know. It's sad when you think about it to an extent, but it's like, man, like, well, again, you know, and this is a conversation that probably happens way more than it should when we talk about main roster WWE, but like just another example of them just having a good idea of what to do with a guy and then just stopping or just, okay, yep, now we're just going to do this. And it's like, no, you were doing the right way before. Like, come on, you know? I don't know. But I am going with the almighty Bobby Lashley to retain here.
So we differ.
We do differ. This is gladly, out of one of the matches we differ to at least, not agree the whole time.
It'd be a boring show if we just agreed the whole time.
Yeah.
JPJ, I think you're wrong. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, you suck. Yeah.
Yeah. What,
But so we have some. Spenny and the Jet says whoever wins, Big Bad Braun takes the big bad pinfall. I would agree there. Outcast Avenger is on my side of things, saying the almighty Bobby Lashley.
Are you serious? Oh, my God.
I know. And then we also have our friend Throwback in the chat. And he says, could this scenario play out? Drew wins, Money in the Bank happens, Cesaro wins, and cashes in on Drew, and he puts Cesaro over. That'd be an amazing as it pays off for Cesaro after not having a major title. I mean, that would be, as Spenny and the Jet said, that would be neat. That would be a good story they could do. Yeah, I mean, I'm all for Cesaro winning any major title. Yeah, like that's the match we're going to be talking about last involving him. So, yeah, anytime he's getting put over or he's doing those things, that works for me. Spending the Jets also says Strowman was made champ about 2 years too late. I would agree with that.
Real quick, I'm just going to throw out there.
Think of the budget, John. Budget.
Sorry. I got so excited because this is the first and potentially last episode of Between Two Beards. So I blew the budget for the year on fireworks. And if I must say, I throw a better fireball than Scarlett Bordeaux does, or Alexa Bliss, or whoever's been throwing fireballs in wrestling. I do it better.
All right.
Well, just saying. I got a bow tie.
Hyping himself up.
Hey, why not?
All right.
Throwback, you the man.
And we will talk about it. Outcast does say, I'm a huge Cesaro fan since his Chikara Pro days. And then Spencer says, the reason that we're not having another episode is because you blew the budget. Way to go. One and done. God almighty. What the heck? What did I sign up for? But anyway. All right.
You made a tactical error hitching your star to this wagon, bro.
We'll see. We'll see about that. I believe in you. So then we have the last match of the evening. I'm assuming it will be the main event because Roman tends to be the main event nowadays, as he should be. Yeah, he should. We have, for the Universal Championship, Roman Reigns going 1-on-1 with Cesaro.
Which is really more like 1-on-3 because, Paul Heyman will get involved.
Yeah, Jay, Paul Heyman. We don't know if Jimmy will be involved at some point to continue that,
Right. Basically, this match, in a nutshell, for me, and I talked Tuesday on Throwbacks podcast, Crazy Wicked Pinfalls. Check him out, too. Good dude. I'm just plugging everybody, dude. I'll plug you. I don't care. Let's make
Throwbacks from my neck of the woods. He's from Massachusetts, so he's a Massachusetts boy like me.
What are the odds I'd be doing shows with Boston area guys?
Yeah.
Of all the people in the world, I'm all Mr. Worldwide, just in the Boston area. Basically, this match to me, they're going to make Cesaro, because this has been the Roman Reigns trajectory. He's not had a match where he's made anybody look bad. Correct. Really, right? Everybody looks really good in these defeats. So this is your opportunity. Cesaro's losing. Reigns should have that title forever. Well, maybe not forever, for a while.
Oh, yeah.
And then Cesaro, when he goes up, maybe they do a shakeup or a draft or something along the lines, and he goes over to Raw, challenges for WWE Championship. Maybe he wins it, but you believe he can do it because he's going to show out on Sunday.
Oh, absolutely.
This is going to put him on the map, and they're not going to deny that he's a main event player from now.
Yeah. I fully agree. I think most people most likely know that Cesaro probably doesn't have a great chance to win this match and probably is not going to win this match. But ever since they've kind of given him this push with the Rollins feud and all this stuff, he has shown, he's shown a lot longer and a lot well before that, but he has shown that he is this caliber of performer. And this is the match, like you just said. I 100% agree with you here. I think this is the match where Roman is going to make him look like $1 million in defeat. He'll have a couple close calls where you believe he's going to win it, and he just doesn't. And it's like, oh, damn. And then at the end, you're going to be like, yeah, he belongs there. That's where he belongs.
And that's good because they need to build. And Cesaro's been there so long, they needed to build him a long time ago, but better late than never. So we'll make that happen. So Drop in the comments, guys. Who do you think's going to win at Backlash? Is there going to be some title changes, maybe some returns, maybe some surprises? Let us know.
Yep.
And
then, our friend Outcast Avenger says, do you guys think there's a chance Brock Lesnar will come back this year? There were the rumors around Mania. See, when there were the rumors around Mania, everyone was saying that Brock was going to come back and deal with the Raw side of things. But I really want Roman to come back and Brock to come back and deal with Roman. And I want like Heyman to be the centerpiece of that. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's a cool story they could tell with like Heyman having to not choose, but kind of be in the middle and like, and like Roman has that final match with Brock where he just beats Brock, and it's kind of the culmination of that. That's at least what I want when Brock does come back. I don't know when that will be, but I would assume it's once crowds come back. I would think Brock will come back and get involved. That's at least what I would go on that and to answer that question. So that's it. As of right now, 6-match card. So, a little on the quicker side of things, but that's the match. The card is shaping up, at least from a pure match standpoint, that it'll be a good show. It looks like it's going to be a good show. I feel like even all the times we've talked about previous pay-per-views or previous events where like the builds have been a little suspect and stuff, the shows have always ended up being pretty damn good, right? So I'm expecting another good show, and hopefully we'll have some things to discuss about it. Hopefully some cool stuff happens.
Hopefully it's over by 10.
I'm old. I did see, I know you did mention Sean Ross Sapp earlier. I did see on Twitter earlier today that he asked like, hey, what good things from the pandemic era do you want to carry over? And someone responded with, keep the pay-per-views at 2.5 hours. And I was like, yes, I agree with that. Being the old man I'm becoming, I do not mind pay-per-views ending at 10 or 10:30 my time. That is good for me.
That's what good for us.
Yes, our friend Ryan does say that Jimmy will cost Reigns the title.
Bold prediction, Ryan.
That is a bold prediction. I think the next feud, I think someone else said it up here. I'm trying to find it. Yeah, Throwback said it's Jimmy Roman's next feud. I don't necessarily disagree with that. I think we could see kind of a run back of what they did with Jay and Roman, just with Jimmy involved, and then Roman has to, make him get in line kind of thing. So I could definitely see Jimmy at least getting involved. I don't know if it'll cost Roman the title. I don't know if you want to take the title off him, with what he's consistently been doing, but yeah, I could see Jimmy definitely getting involved too.
Boom.
All right.
That's Backlash. WrestleMania season hopefully will officially end Sunday. Will it be the
WrestleMania Money in the Bank? What's the one after that? WrestleMania Great Balls of Fire.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Screw it.
Right?
WrestleMania Double or Nothing. Why not?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Why
not? Chug.
I know. Yeah, sorry.
No, you're good, man. You got to stay hydrated. Got to.
All right. So now I believe we diving into. Is it time? We got about what? How much time we got left?
We got I'd say 15 minutes ish.
All right. So we want to talk a little bit of Daniel Bryan.
Oh yes, as we teased.
Who doesn't love talking about Daniel Bryan?
I mean, everybody's been doing it, right?
Yeah.
So why not be the show? And this is where it's all coming from. Why not be the show? Of course, we're going to talk about Daniel Bryan's jobless right now.
He is technically jobless.
He is currently unemployed.
Yeah, and I know we got a lot of people in the chat who like wrestling from all over. I know Mighty Joe's in the chat. He's a big New Japan guy. Where do we want to see? I know it's been discussed, for a little bit now, but let's dive into it for a little bit. Where do we want to see Daniel Bryan go?
And drop your stuff in the comments there, guys, and let us know where you want to see.
Well, Mighty Joe right out the gate saying Daniel Bryan is sus. So,
but you know, in true between two beards form, and this is what we do.
there'll be no slander of bearded men on
Yep.
my show.
Yeah, yeah.
Daniel Bryan, not
We
so
love-
much anymore, but he had a fantastic beard for so long.
For so long.
Outcast Avenger does say, I want him to have one more title run. Yes, but I think now he has options to have title runs wherever he wants. So, he also does say he would love to see Daniel Bryan in Impact.
Go back to the running titles comment. Who was that? I missed that. That was quick.
Oh boy, I have to go back if you want to talk about maybe where you want to.
Anyway, Daniel Bryan running titles makes sense because he looks like he is primed and ready to be a used car salesman. It's summer. He needs to stay. He's got to get that money up. Why not? He looks like a guy that would sell me a nice used car. Running that title out to me all day long.
Yep. We do have Parrish did say I think he's still got some more time left in him, but Parrish does say Daniel Bryan will headline the 2022 Hall of Fame. Push that back to maybe 2024 or 25. I might agree with you, but I think he's going to go do some good stuff, either back with WWE or somewhere. Our buddy Ed says Bryan to Ring of Honor, please. Roosh, Lethal, Taven, other options as well. I would not mind that whatsoever.
Again, I've got him lined up to do substitute summer school teaching. He looks like that kind of guy as well.
And then we have Throwback says, if Bryan resigns, I want him in NXT. This was high on my list. This is my number 2 where I want Daniel Bryan to go. He says it would be amazing to have a rematch with Cole or Walter. And Cross said they want matches with him. Those ideas are endless. He also says Thatcher versus Bryan. That would be fun. Timothy Thatcher and Bryan, that would be a fun match to watch them really get after each other with that physical submission reversal type style of wrestling. All right, so John, if you had to pick, where are you looking for Daniel Bryan to go? Or where's your top destination?
I just gave you 2 good ones. I gave you the
You did.
the used car salesman, substitute school teacher, only in the summer. He's busy in the fall. Flea market. I could see him, selling hacky sacks, organic hemp hacky sacks. And there's nothing wrong with that. Saving the planet, Daniel Bryan. That's what I see. Everybody's talking about these dream matches, NXT. Maybe he wants to go off and work at a Whole Foods.
Maybe he's maybe.
Like, why not?
Yeah.
Does
I don't know. Maybe.
Does he have to wrestle? Do we need him to keep wrestling?
Yes.
We need him to keep wrestling.
Yeah.
We have to. Okay. I must have missed that point in our pre-show discussion that this was supposed to be serious.
Hey man, if you're cool with your answer, that's cool. You can
I'm
be cool.
With I definitely. I think why not?
Yeah. So you have him retiring. That's what you're saying.
Going off to take painting classes, find his inner chi. I just, I don't want to come on here and say, yeah, I want to go. I want to see him in AEW against like Pac.
That'd be nice, though.
You know what I mean? I'm just gonna out loudly yell substitute middle school, summer school teacher.
Okay.
But really,
Pac.
Or
Kenny Omega. We can go wrestle Kenny Omega for the AEW title. Yeah.
Yeah, head on down to MLW and Filthy Tom Lawler.
That'd be good too. Yeah. All right.
But really, I'm thinking vegan farmer at the side of the road.
It's fair. Yeah. He could have a farm. He could own a farmer's market. He has the money.
Yeah.
He could 100%.
Horticulture is his bag. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Fair. That's fair.
Drop in the comments where you think Daniel Bryan would work if he wasn't a wrestler.
Parrish, I believe you have never been more right. Daniel Bryan will wrestle next in a wrestling ring. That is almost 100% certain, my friend. Maybe, though. What if it's a street fight? Who knows?
Cinematic boneyard match.
Yeah, could be. But I believe Parrish will be right there. I love AEW. Outcast Avenger says you guys don't like AEW. No,
Oh,
I
we
am a
love
huge.
AEW.
Yeah, I have a show on Thursdays. We did them live this week, but I have a show on Thursdays called The War Report that specifically reviews NXT and AEW. Even though now they're on separate nights and it's not the Wednesday night wars anymore, but AEW currently is my favorite product of wrestling. They're my favorite show. Yeah, I am all on board with AEW. That is my Yes, go ahead.
I was going to say my favorite part of all of your amazing War Report show, it is amazing, by the way, is I forgot to tell Matt that I was taking you on Thursday nights.
Yeah. He was like, "What, you stealing them?" I'm like, "Guys, there's plenty of me to go around. Have you seen me?" So I'm
Matt.
Yeah. So AEW is my top choice for Daniel Bryan. And then, like Throwback said, I think if he went down to NXT for a little bit, there's a lot of guys he could have some really good matches with. And yeah, those are my top two. AEW, like you talked about with Pac and Kenny Omega, I would die, Sammy Guevara. There's so many talented veteran and younger guys over there that Daniel Bryan would just have masterpieces. I mean, he has masterpieces with, yeah, exactly. He's an all-time legend, right? So it's one of those things where no matter where he goes, it's gonna be good,
Yeah.
Spenny and the Jets. Oh yeah, go ahead. No, go.
Cupcakes. Cupcakes are big. Daniel Bryan cupcake shop. I'd go to that. I'd buy that.
Our Spenny and the Jet says, if we're really dreaming here, let's see some DB and Bloodsport. But he thinks there's less than a 0.2% chance Bryan leaves WWE.
There's more of a lighting off another firework than there is of Daniel Bryan leaving the WWE.
That is true. And Mighty Joe does say, I'd like to see Daniel Bryan have a run through the best of Super Juniors in New Japan. Yeah, that would be awesome. That would be amazing if he did that.
Yeah, you guys are all right. Like, none of you are wrong.
Yep. Outcast does say Daniel Bryan versus Will Ospreay. That would be another.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I mean, I have a feeling everything we see here, which I'm going to show them all, we're all going to be like, yeah, yep, absolutely, because Daniel Bryan has great matches with everybody, and if you're throwing him in here with other great wrestlers, like, those are going to be terrific matches.
If HCW is still here, let's get Daniel Bryan versus Isaiah Moore or Eric Dillinger.
There you go. Calling out some shout outs to the local. Yeah.
Yeah. Some of our boys that just were in the comments.
And then Mighty Joe does say Daniel Bryan versus Hiromu Takahashi is on my short list of dream matches. That would be amazing.
Daniel Bryan versus random math problems in a local college. I'd be down with that too. Shout out Goodwill Hunting. Old school reference showing our age.
And then it is true. And then our buddy Ed says, if Bryan is going to go to Japan, can we get the G1? Bryan and the G1 would be very cool. I do like the Super Junior. I think Bryan in any of those big events that they have over there, that would be cool. That's a huge name to be involved there, and that would be awesome. Yeah. So we got about, I want to say, like another, 5 or 10 minutes or so. I know the segment that you're looking forward to the most every week. I will let you lead this one, my friend. Oh, wait, hold on. Before we leave Daniel Bryan, Daniel Bryan,
can't leave Daniel Bryan.
I think we have a challenge. We have a challenge in the chat for Daniel Bryan. Our own Parrish says Daniel Bryan versus Love Wrestling Elite Champion Chris Parrish. Hopefully, because we work here, I would not have to pay money for that, but I would watch that match. That would Parrish.
Hey, we just blew the budget for Love.
Yeah.
For the rest
so I don't know how we would even broadcast it.
We might have to pay. We might have to drop that $19.95.
I'd be okay with that too.
That's fine.
I thought we'd get the perks.
Well, again, I blew the budget, JPJ.
Yeah.
Spencer
we have Daniel Bryan
pulling his hair out, trying to figure out a way to recover from that fireworks extravaganza.
Our buddy Ed says Bryan versus Okada, Bryan versus Ishii, and Bryan versus Suzuki. Bryan versus Okada would be. Yeah, I mean that's near the top of my list. If I'm thinking of New Japan, I'm also thinking of Bryan versus Ibushi would be very good. yeah, I mean, it just seems like everybody, most people love Daniel Bryan. We just want to see him back in a wrestling ring somewhere, right? So I think that's all that really matters.
Or selling me a used car.
Yeah, or retired somewhere with someone with a business we can support.
He gets a pair of glasses, starts reading a lot, just sitting around, just chilling. Enjoy your retirement, DB. We all know you're gonna be back.
Yeah,
it's just a joke. Okay.
All right, let's finish this debut off with, like I said, I know a segment you were itching for and you're super excited about, so I will let you lead us into this last segment of the show.
Let's pull that curtain back just a little bit, right? So JPJ hits me up. He says, let's do something, as we talked about at the top of the show. Let's make the show happen. I said, you know what? Let's do that. But I got one request and one request only. We have to have the Kayla, are you joking me? Moment of the week. Because I will never get over the Iconics getting fired. I will never be past it. And my way to pay homage to two of the greatest performers in WWE history. And I'm not making that. I'm not kidding. I thoroughly enjoyed the Iconics. If anybody thinks I'm joking, being serious right now. Got a bow tie on. So basically, in that vein, the you gotta be joking me moment of the week is where JPJ and I pick a moment of the week of wrestling that just didn't make sense to us, or was just like, come on, man, what was that? You've got to be joking me. They just did that, right? So I'm going to let you go ahead and take the floor, JPJ, and drop yours first, because yours is great.
Thank you. All right. So you got to be joking me moment of the week is the Alexa Bliss and Shayna Baszler stuff from Raw. Okay.
Joking me.
Okay. So I do not fault Alexa Bliss. I think I'm a fan of Alexa Bliss's. I think she's doing the best she can with what she's being given. But to me, Shayna Baszler is a top tier women's talent in that company. Like, that's where I view her. Like, she's a legitimate mixed martial arts, just badass, great wrestler, good promo. She's one of the great, you can make an argument that she might be the greatest, or she definitely is one of the greatest NXT superstars, wrestlers ever. 2-time women's champion, all this. And you booked Alexa Bliss and a doll from 50 feet away to cast voodoo on Shayna Baszler. So her leg twisted and got stuck into the mat and she lost. Like, she just got pinned. That was it. Like, she got, like, what? That is Shayna. Exactly. That is Shayna Baszler. Like, she should be beaten the proverbial shit out of everyone. And they made her look like a moron. And I have issue with that. And I
she should be the female Brock Lesnar, in my opinion.
Yes. Look at
people over.
Yeah, and I've said this before, like with my friends talking wrestling, and this is not a disparaging comment at Ronda Rousey, because I thought Ronda Rousey was awesome. But I think Shayna Baszler is everything besides the name value to that level, is everything that WWE wanted out of Ronda Rousey. Like, Shayna Baszler could be that every week, always hear Ronda Rousey type, like just a badass. I'm not here to be cute. I'm not here to do this. I'm just here to destroy people. You know what I mean? And
yeah, but she's holding butt donuts.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, holding butt donuts. Her leg can't move because of fucking. I'm sorry, I dropped. That's the F-bomb. Because of a. We'll be all right.
We'll put $1 in the swear jar.
Yeah, we can't. Oh my God! It's just like there's some things that happen so often that, like, it's hard to recover from if you're a performer, and like, I don't know, if you're a certain type of fan looks at that and they don't know a lot about Shayna Baszler or anything like that, they're going to be like, okay, like, why would I ever believe that she's going to be anyone important when they're making her do that stupid crap? You know what I mean? I don't know.
You've got to be joking me.
Yeah. And then we have Outcast Avenger says facts. And he said, I was at Survivor Series when NXT dominated and she showed that night she's an absolute star. 100%.
No, or the
100%.
Elimination Chamber when she ran through everybody. And
Yeah, literally ran through everyone.
Everybody.
Like, yeah. And now she's literally getting magic done to her in the ring and losing matches, which she's been losing way too much. She's always the one that gets pinned whenever they lose their non-title match. Like,
voodoo considered magic, or is it?
I don't know.
I'm not an
I'm not. Yeah, me neither. Spenny and the Jets does say the swear jar funds are now exclusively used to repay our lost revenue from the firework debacle earlier. All right. Well, at least I know I went to a good cause.
Yeah, we're doing our part to build back. You got to spend money, Spencer, to make money. Everybody knows that in the business. You got to
absolutely.
You got to throw a few dollar bills out there. Now we're gonna make it back tenfold.
Absolutely. Yeah, so that was my you gotta be joking me segment of the week. As you can tell, it got me riled up. Go ahead.
No, mine, that's why I wanted you to go first, because yours is next level. Mine, you've got to be joking me moment of the week is NWA Power. Shout out to our buddy Zach who does Power Out, and they talk about this on Tuesday. So check out Power Out. For those that watch NWA, it's a fine reaction show. He does a great job. Is you have a loser stays match? Let me repeat that. You have a loser stays in your promotion.
Yeah, I heard about this. I didn't. Yeah. Oh my God.
Thunder Rosa and Camille. Now it's all convoluted anyway because Camille is the number one contender, yet she's still going after Rosa, which is fine. They're two fine individuals who are really good at what they do. But NWA, you just told me, the viewer that pays $4.99 a month for your service, that we need to force our people to stay here
and wrestle
and not work anywhere else. What does that say, JPJ? You've got to be joking me.
That is.
You could have done anything else. You could have said anything else, and you were just like, no, if you Thunder Rosa, if you lose, you can't leave. What? Wouldn't you want her to go out and wrestle other places and get the NWA mentioned on other programs? And no, you're like, no, you've got to stay here with us. You can't do anything else. Oh,
it is. Man. It is. I did not watch it live. No, I did not watch it, but I heard about it. It is an odd. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what they were. I guess I'll put it this way. Like, I don't know what they were thinking when they came. Like, obviously we don't know what they were thinking when they came up with it, but like, I don't know if they thought they were meaning it the way that it came off, if that makes sense at all. Like, I don't think how it could be so logical that you would think that you're basically making fun of your own company on your own show.
Yeah.
You're like, hey, if you lose this match, you're forced to stay here. Stay here. Otherwise, you get to go have fun other places. Like, what are you what? What is that?
I've never heard that.
Oh my God, just
Billy
bizarre.
Corgan, if that was your decision, that is the worst decision you have made since splitting up the Smashing Pumpkins.
Didn't the show just go off the air like randomly this week too? Because like the tag champs didn't want to fight or something like that. Wasn't that like a storyline thing too? I don't watch Power religiously, so I am as green when it comes to it. Maybe if Zach is still in the chat, but I don't know. But I heard that happen too.
Fireworks to pay attention. No,
yeah,
I got to catch the ending of Power this week. I had some stuff come up, so I cut it off about there. But yeah, I was like, that's what you're doing. Okay, you've got to be joking me, Kayla.
Unbelievable.
What are they doing at NWA Power?
Yeah, I did hear about that, and I was like, that sounds like nobody knows what. Okay, great. But yeah, so that was our "You Gotta Be Joking Me"
Me.
segment of the week. Before we get out of here, we want to thank everyone for joining us for the debut show. And this is going to be, we're going to be diving into all sorts of stuff. So this is the debut. This is show one. We're looking to have some fun. Thank you for everyone with all the comments throughout the night. You guys were super interactive, and definitely we want that to happen. We want to involve all of you guys. So thank you for the support. Thank you for following us on Facebook, subscribing on YouTube, and especially subscribing on Twitch. As Mighty Joe says, NWA is sus. I would agree. After those few things that I heard, I would agree. Yeah.
But no, before we got a few minutes left,
Oh yeah, we do. We got time.
Got a few minutes left. So drop any questions, comments. I don't know how we get them to give us money to pay for all the fireworks.
Well, it's coming out of my swear jar. I'll call it a donation.
But I gotta be honest. Shout out to Spencer. Shout out to Zach. Everybody that's helped us out this week. Making this happen. We've got a lot of big ideas we've been tossing around and planned for new segments, new ideas, things. We kind of wanted you guys to come in first episode and get to know us. We don't want to blow the budget that's left, if we have any left. I'll have to check the funds. Episode 1, we hope to make this a weekly appointment viewing on Thursdays or whenever you catch it. If you catch it on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, whenever you stop by and see us, and we greatly appreciate all the support. And if I have to say, honey, because my wife was super concerned that I was going to blow the house up with the fireworks.
Yes, she was on in our pre-stream little chat. She was. She was worried. He is not making that up. I'm was
not. But no, this has been an amazing first episode of Between Two Beards. Come back next Thursday, same time. The only, we'll keep you guys posted if, there's other things that come up on the Love Wrestling channel, like, Quizzleplex will obviously slide back for the flagship shows of this. We are just so honored and thankful that they gave us a platform to come on and talk our nonsense and have our fun and just come up with things and see if they work. And everybody, thank you. God bless. Amazing turnout for episode 1.
I was very happy with it.
So many comments. I was like, oh shoot, I can't
know.
Keep up.
It's unfortunate we're gonna have to lay some people off because we used all our money on fireworks. But it was good. It's good. It's good. Anything you want to plug, my man, before we get out of here? Obviously we'll be back here next Thursday, but anything else you got coming up or anything,
Stay tuned. I've got a independent spotlight series dropping with Jeffrey John, who you can see wrestling in Paradigm Pro. I hope to have that finished up and out this weekend. That's a project that's been near and dear to my heart since I started this thing. The boys at HCW that commented earlier got me into independent wrestling. And, it's not just the people we see on Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, now Tuesdays. There's a lot of, men and women out there grinding that nobody gets a shine. So anytime I can give them some shine, please check that out. Obviously, check me out at Wrestling Plug Inc. on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. You can find me here at Love Wrestling, as I always say on these shows, hopefully again.
There will be an again, my friend.
There will be an again. You heard it here first. Episode 2 next Thursday. But other than that, that's where you can find me. JPJ, plug your stuff. And also, what are you doing this weekend, man?
Yeah, I am this weekend. I will be watching Backlash on Sunday. That I will be doing. Hopefully getting in a round of golf earlier in the day. That'd be nice.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, it's starting to, the weather's starting to get warmer in Massachusetts, and I am, I'm fully vaccinated, so I want to start to feel air again and live and do things. So I'll hopefully get some of that out of the way. But yeah, no. You can check me on right here on the Joseph _ Poulin Jr. It took me a while. On the Twitter machine. Other than that, I hop on as many times as Spencer lets me. So I do as many reacts as I can. I obviously have the War Report on Thursdays, and now I have Between Two Beards on Thursdays. So Thursday, I got that little double dip going on. So be on the lookout for both those shows. I want to thank all of our new friends that we had in the chat tonight. Please follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. We have a lot of great people that produce a lot of great content. They're great at what they do, but more importantly, they're all really great people. And I know we say that a lot here, but that's because it's true. And the people that I've met in the short time I've been a part of this have just been awesome. So thank you, everyone. Oh, yeah.
And before we go, we almost forgot.
Sunday brunch.
Sunday brunch. Hit up the shop, buy some of these mugs so we can get that budget back for them fireworks.
That is true. And you can always catch brunch. It's 11 a.m. Mountain Time. I know it's 1 in the afternoon East Time with me. But yes, 100% watch Sunday brunch every Sunday. There'll be a POS show this week because of the Backlash pay-per-view. WrestleMania Backlash.
And because of the backlash of us talking trash, they're gonna show out. It's gonna be appointment viewing. So
100%. So check that out and follow us here at Love Wrestling as we love wrestling and try to talk about it as much as we can. So everyone, thank you again for joining us for the debut of our show, and we look forward to seeing you next week.
Peace.
Peace out.
We're out.
With my best